Hey, you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the West. More specifically, we are in Burbank, California. And even more specifically than that, we are in front of the Mystic Museum's Lost Toys exhibit. Now, I've been to the Mystic Museum, the Bearded Ladies Mystic Museum, multiple times. It's actually down that way, down that direction. It's they have an oddity shop, they have a horror themed store in it as well, and they also have rotating exhibits. I've been to the I think a long time ago, years ago, I went to a Ouija board, talking board exhibit. I've also been to the Evil Dead exhibit they had a few years back, and then most recently I went to the 90s slasher exhibit that they have over at the main museum. But this is kind of like the satellite exhibit here, and previously they had a store here called Slashback Video, and unfortunately I never got to visit that. It was a VHS video store, like themed at old movies and props, kind of immersive experience. And last time I came out here, I wanted to visit Slashback, but they had actually just closed it down when I was here for the Halloween season. They had just closed it down and were converting it to a new exhibit. Well, the exhibit has opened up, and now we have the Mystic Museum Lost Toys exhibit. Kind of a nostalgic look back at different toys, I believe. I've not been inside yet, so I do not know exactly what they've done, but I've really appreciated their past exhibits. I'm looking very forward to checking this out. So please follow me. So look here on the outside. See the logo there, the Lost Toys. They have the scariest toy of them all in the middle, the monkey with the symbols. That always, for some reason, that really freaked me out as a kid, the monkey with the symbols. And I think this goes back to the Slashback Video store. It's a zombie with a VHS mask. And here we are. It says, "Welcome to Lost Toys, where nightmares come to life." You can see the demon there behind the sign. And wow, just taking all this in here. Got tons of old toys, different displays here. Yeah, looking in this case here, lots of fun stuff going on. You see these dinosaur attacks cards, just cards that show dinosaurs killing people. We've got there's the Gremlins 2 collector cards. I would have loved that. Gremlins 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of the most legendary McDonald's Happy Meal toys of all time, the Chicken McNuggets. You can see these ones are the Halloween Chicken McNuggets. You can see the werewolf in the back, the Frankenstein, and then the Dracula there in the front. Then over here, oh, these are the muscle toys. I remember these were collectible toys, these little tiny pink toys. I collected those when I was a little kid back in the 80s, and they were from Japan. I think the characters are actually from a Japanese show, but we didn't even have the show in America, but we still loved these little pink figures. You can see the Mad Balls there. Remember, these are just balls to throw around, but they're ghoulish. You see that one's like an eyeball. There's a cyclops there, a skull, like a zombie with a rotten head there. The friendly Frankenstein. We've got some other monsters there. Oh, it's it's like Ghostface from Scream. Oh, this is like Stretchy. It's like a Stretch Armstrong type. We're not allowed to play with the toys because they are old. But, we have a Stretchy Ghostface. You have Stretchy, this creepy creature. It's kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon. We got the werewolf and the mummy as well. These old ghoulish bobbleheads here are called Wobbling Goblins, which is a pretty fun name. There's my boy Gizmo there from Gremlins, one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, Chucky, one of the most famous evil toys of all time. I think these must be like advanced Mad Balls. It's like a dinosaur that's got a little caveman inside of his mouth. Oh, then down here, look at these teddy bears. These vicious looking teddy bears. I don't think I've ever seen these before. They're pretty amazing. And here's the Ghostbuster toys, the real Ghostbusters, based off of the Ghostbusters movie. And they were really cool. Loved those toys, but the best thing about it was the villains here. They morphed from normal people into scary, I guess they were supposed to be ghosts, but they were like scary ghouls. This like old woman looked like a normal lady, and then her torso opened up to a mouth. I haven't thought about this since I was a small child. It's all rushing back. You can see there's a football player that bends over, and then his back turns into a giant mouth there with a football on the tongue. These are so good. It's crazy. Haven't seen these in forever. I think these are some of the larger Mad Balls there. There's a football. That one has hair on it. But this here, this is special to me. This is a Boglin. There's actually like a puppet, and you can actually put your hand in it and you can move its eyes. It's really like an articulate puppet. I had this. I had the blue one. I loved it so much as a child. I don't know what happened to it. I love my mother. I love my mother more than anything, but sometimes she's bad to throw away my old toys. They actually was a Kickstarter where they made a new line of Boglins, and I actually bought one. But this on the classic, it's a little bigger, a little more articulate. Oh man, I would love to have one of these originals. I think they're pretty pricey though online. We have Splatterhouse here. Now Splatterhouse was absolutely legendary in my friend group in elementary school. I think it came out I don't think it was on Nintendo or Sega. I think it was on TurboGrafx 16, so none of us had the ability to play it because none of us had TurboGrafx. And I think it's TurboGrafx. If someone knows better, leave a comment in the comment section. But we talked about this as like a legendary game that was like so violent that it was like almost to not be believed. You can see the guy, the main character there, wears a hockey mask. He kind of looks like Jason Voorhees. Apparently he shoots a gun now. But let's put a quarter in. Let's play a game of Splatterhouse. See, the only two buttons are jump and splatter, but we'll play one player there. And then what's that? There's a hockey mask floating over our character, and oh, it just went onto his face and turned him into a Jason Voorhees-esque monster. So I guess we move forward. We push the splatter button. Oh, we punched this guy's face in. Oh, is that a meat cleaver? Can we pick up the... There we go. That's an improvement. Oh, we're just chopping off heads now. Chopping heads, heads, chop, chop, chop. Oh, gotta turn around and chop this side. Oh, okay, one guy hits us and we drop the meat cleaver. How do I pick it? Okay, gotta duck down to pick it up. So lots of head chopping. What's that? Can I not go? Oh, I gotta jump over that. Okay. Choppity, choppity, choppity. Oh, it's starting to get hard. Oh, okay, these guys in the back these guys chained to the wall, these prisoners chained to the wall, they vomit, and their vomit kills you. Oh, gotta kill these bats. Oh no. And look who we have here. Now, I had the My Pet Monster when I was a kid, but this is the other version. This is my football monster. He's wearing the football jersey. I think he's supposed to have a football cap or a football helmet on as well. I love little science kits like this, little like gross out science kits. We made slime. Let's see here, have this skull here. I guess you create your own monster and you put like plug in different eyes and teeth there. I wonder if there was gonna be some slime that went over top of it as well. I have a stairway here of creepy little dolls. Oh jeez! Oh, they just started moving. Literally just started moving right there. Oh jeez! I did. That really scared me. I didn't see that coming. So those, yeah, see those dolls moving? The little Raggedy Ann or Annabelle jumped up. Oh my goodness, there's like a motion detector somewhere over here. But in addition to these scary, scary dolls, we also have the Big Boy and the Noid. Just talking about the Noid the other day. I think he was the Domino mascot. He liked to ruin pizza. That was his thing. Ruined pizzas. Oh, and who's that little monkey boy back there? Anyone know what that little monkey is? Yeah, different kits here. We have the creepy crawler kit. I remember they had that when I was a kid too. You could these little like plates you fill with plastic and make your own little rubbery worms and bugs. There's one of the space Martians from Mars Attacks. Look at his little face there. Who's this guy with the mustache? I do like his hat. Very dusty ventriloquist dummy right there next to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. There's another Big Boy. This here, me and Jen got one of these. This is a Fuggler. It's really fun how they're kind of an ugly looking little monster. Oh, there's a little Quasimodo as well. Here we got a lava lamp. I've never owned a lava lamp. I do like the little monkey guy there. And then a very interesting looking Frankenstein. Kind of a different style of Frankenstein there. He doesn't got the square head. He's got more of a lumpy head to him. There's some Pez dispensers back there. All spooky stuff. There's a coffin bank there with a little dead skeleton inside. Oh, there's like a little Universal Monsters, like little play set. You can see the Dracula. There's Frankenstein strapped to the board there. The Universal Monsters there. I always love seeing the Universal Monsters. Something just timeless about all the Universal Monsters. Down there's the full-size proton pack for the Ghostbusters. You'd like have that in your hand and pull a lever, and then this like pool noodle thing would spin like it was a laser coming out. The lifeline here, it says, how long will you live? Okay, so shows you can go up to 75 to 100 years. Let's see, I guess we'll figure out right here when I'm going to die. Insert the quarter there in the top. Put the hand right there. And just gonna wait here a second. Oh, where's it go? Oh, extended. Okay, made it just past average. So that's a short life, an average life, and an extended life. I eked over the edge there. Oh, wait a minute, it's growing. Okay, it's getting longer. Oh, all right, there we go, reset. So I got to about there. So that seems like a pretty decent life. See the motorized monster maker. Just really fun. I guess these are like little wind-up toys. Those are fun. You can see here the wallpaper is actually just all these old B movies. The Mole People, Attack of the Crab Monsters, Devil Girl from Mars. I gotta write these all down so I can watch them when I get home. Satan's Satellites. I married a monster from outer space. The Crypt Keeper here on top of this custom arcade cabinet. Custom Lost Toys arcade cabinet. Let's put a quarter in. Let's see what we're playing here. Playing ghosts, or is it? It's not ghosts and goblins. Is it ghouls? Ghouls and goblins? Ghosts and ghouls. There we go. This is one of the hardest games ever made. Okay, you're this little knight guy. You're running. You're throwing lances into the zombies. You gotta keep moving. Oh, we gotta jump. And then one hit you take, and then you have to fight in your underwear, and then you get hit again, and you're a dead skeleton. Have a Goosebumps collection. I never read the Goosebump books. I was a little too old. They came out like right after I would have been the age to enjoy them. But Yeah, look at that. Goosebumps walkie-talkies. Now this I remember. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I remember that artwork, that head coming out of the ground. I remember this book being in my classroom and like just being afraid to even look at it. I didn't want to even see this. I was afraid if I looked at the cover of this book that I would have nightmares forever. Does anyone else remember being terrified of the cover artwork of this? It is just, oh my God. Even still look, I look at this and I'm like, this was a children's book. All right, entering into the next room here. Oh, you see that's fog pouring out through the room. And look up there, we got Freddy Krueger. Against this, in one of the movies there, he pops out of the TV. He says, "Welcome to prime time, ma'am." And then he grabs the woman and smashes her face into the TV, electrocuting her to death. Now, the Freddy Krueger, I haven't seen all the Freddy movies. I know he starts out as being darker and scarier, and as the movies go on, he gets more jokey and laughy. What do you guys like better? Do you like Scary Freddy or Laughy Freddy? And then here we have a collection of Freddy Krueger toys. Of course, the classic glove there. There's this is called a Freddy Electronic Scare Stick. Yeah, it's a Freddy yo-yo back there. It's funny that they like used him to advertise to children. So like, buy a yo-yo, kids. Here's our mascot, a demonic child murderer who kills you in your dreams. There's a Freddy Madball there. It is funny. It is funny how the horror movies, how they do kind of appeal to children in a way. I remember hearing about these movies. You hear about like Nightmare on Elm Street, you hear about Freddy, you hear about Jason as a kid. You never actually see the movies, but you just know about them, and they almost like become legends on the schoolyard. Oh, there's Freddy creeping out from under that shelf. You see his mop bucket. Was he a janitor? Is that what he was? He was a school janitor, and he enjoyed killing children in his spare time. Oh, there's the fog again, coming out of Freddy's mop bucket. Here we have the Mystic Museum Core, building a better horror. Look down there. There is one of the eggs from Alien. And over here, there's the face hugger. Of course, you know the life cycle of the aliens. They come from an egg. The face hugger pops out. He climbs on your face. And that thing in the middle, it inserts something. It's really graphic. It inserts something into your throat. And it falls off. You feel fine. And then the alien jumps out of your chest. This guy just started hissing at me. That's the full-grown alien. After it bursts out of your chest. Oh, see, there's fog coming up there from the egg. After it jumps out of your chest, it grows into this giant murder beast here. Oh, there's another one crawling out of the wall there. You can see has the tongue that comes out. It's actually based after moray eels. Moray eels have a mouth inside their mouth. So does the alien. This is a little zipper mouth. I think this is supposed to be like the alien from Aliens. The giant zipper for his mouth. And then you open it up and he has a little zipper mouth inside there. See all these different action figures, like different transforming robots. If you look closely right there in the middle, I just noticed this guy here, he apparently turns into a giraffe, or transforms from a giraffe into a robot. I gotta show this to Jen. I gotta send Jen a picture of this because I imagine this will be her favorite thing she's ever seen. And here we have some of the merch that they're selling. You can see on the button there, it says Toys are Guts, and it has Jeffrey the giraffe with a rotten face and guts coming out of his ears. There's a Mystic Museum sticker there. Looks like a Garbage Pail Kid, but I think is that supposed to be Kiefer Sutherland from Lost Boys? Is that Kiefer? Kiefer? Let's see, up in the rafters of all these beautiful blow mold Halloween decorations. And then down here, the pop culture section, we have like a wall of action figures. See up there on top, different stormtroopers and clone troopers from Star Wars. And then down here, these two rows here, these are just Wolverines. All different versions of Wolverine from X-Men. I never thought there were so many different Wolverines here. Was that Cowboy Wolverine there? Oh, this Wolverine here he's naked and he has a helmet covering his head. These are Transformers that transform into dinosaurs and different animals here. The leopard. I still like the guy that turns into the giraffe. I think that's the best. In here we have, it looks like a child's bedroom. Oh, it's so amazing. I look at this. This is the best thing I've ever seen. This is a giant, they have a giant My Pet Monster down there. This is the original sized My Pet Monster. This was another toy to me that was very special. As a kid, it was the only thing I wanted for my birthday, and my dad went out and bought me one. It was a huge deal. I remember I would sleep in bed with it. I'd put my arm over it. I remember it was so big I couldn't wrap my arm around it. Yeah, I just loved the design. I think I've always said, like I said, I love the Boglins. I love the My Pet Monster. My dad told me that whenever he took me to the store to buy action figures, I'd always pick the strangest, weirdest, ugliest guy. So I think it's always been something I love, just, you know, creatures and creature design. So I love the My Pet Monster. And yeah, oh my gosh, just taking in the full-size giant one. Now the little one here, it's actually missing the orange chains. But you can see the big one has the orange chains. They would be plastic. You could clip the chains together, and when the monster like raged out, he could pull the chains apart and break the chains. Now here we got a child's bed. Oh, look at these sheets. These are awesome. They have Godzilla, the creature from the Black Lagoon, different, like a tiki head, all sorts of wonderful monsters. And he's a Simpsons fan as well, so love that. And got his Gremlins. His Gremlins lunchbox there. It's a child after my own heart. Let's see, he's drinking some Surge. That's not going to help him get to sleep. And then a Tab soda. He's got some Cracker Jack and Pop Rocks back there as well. There's a television next to the bed. He's got his NES set up. And then they're playing some vintage monster toy commercials on the TV. Oh, which one's this? Oh no! Oh, these are the stretchy monsters. We saw them out front in the first row. It's so good. These stretching toys are really bad to break. So if you like do this for more than like an hour, the toy is just gonna rip and turn into a pile of goo. These kids even got the My Pet Monster VHS movie. I owned that. What else is he watching here? Got Charlie Brown. It's the Great Pumpkin. Watching Monster Squad. We got the NES controllers there. Yeah, he's got his NES set up. What's he playing? Tag Team Wrestling. He's got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And actually, look at this on top of the NES. He has a Monster Squad mask. It's the Frankenstein mask. And of course, if anyone has any memories of any of the toys that I'm showing in this video, please share them in the comment section, especially of My Pet Monster. Anyone else had positive memories of the My Pet Monster toy? Please leave that in the comment section. The Monster Squad posters, as well as the Beetlejuice cartoon. Love the Beetlejuice cartoon. It's completely different than the movie, but enjoyable in its own way. Oh, I just noticed this down here. It's a light bright. It says "Never Sleep Again." I guess Freddy Krueger has been manipulating the light bright. At the child's computer desk there, he's got one of those cool chairs that looks like a giant hand, and got his Macintosh computer. There is with some New York seltzer there, and The Bud Light, that's Spuds McKenzie there on those plastic cups. Bud Light Fright Night. And, oh, what are these? These are, this is like a Atari here. Oh, this is in television. I think that came before Atari. But look at these games. These are interesting. These are not real games. That these are, or maybe they are real games. But just look at these little cartridges, like would be in an old video game system. I guess olden television games. But they're Witch Pumpkin. These are the masks from Halloween 2. And then this is Jason. It's got a machete on it. Pinhead with the puzzle box. Michael Myers the knife. Freddy Krueger's claw. And then Leatherface with, of course, the chainsaw. I don't know if these are working games, but they're pretty fun. Oh, and that's Halloween. The Halloween action figure. Whose car is that? Is that Michael Myers' car? There's a collectible card there on the desk. And I don't know what set this is from, but it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So in this picture, you see there's a human being attacked by a lion, but then the lion is being attacked by a dinosaur. And then up in the sky, you see a gorilla being carried off by a pterodactyl. What is going on here? This elf phone is pretty amazing. The kid drew a picture of the devil right there, but also this really cool picture of Stripe from Gremlins. We have this Chucky photo op. It's a Good Guys doll box. It says he wants you for a best friend. So you can pose in there. And there we have the inspiration for Chucky, the My Buddy doll, which I remember my cousin had a My Buddy doll, and then he was a small child. He ended up watching Child's Play, which probably should not have been allowed to watch, but he watched Chucky, and then he was terrified. I mean, he asked that this doll be locked away. He didn't want anything to do with it. And then Slimer's over there just hanging out on the other side of the couch. Yeah, so much here to make me nostalgic. The My Pet Monster, of course, but you know, the NES, the Ghostbusters cartoon, just rattling off The Simpsons, just rattling off things here. Man, I feel like my generation is a very nostalgic generation, a generation that looks very fondly back on their childhood. Is it possible? You know, for those of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s, did we have the best childhood? Did we have the most awesome stuff in our childhood? I don't know. I don't want to denigrate any young people now. There's cool stuff now. There's cool stuff for kids to enjoy. But man, did we? I'm 42 years old. Am I of the generation that had the greatest stuff? I say my childhood was the best childhood, but I think we had the best stuff, the best toys, the best. It was a golden age. That's why I think that's why people my age are so fueled by nostalgia, just because we had such cool stuff. Got some wonderful Halloween decorations here. I remember the paper skeletons for a kid. We had a paper skeleton that we took out in Halloween. I loved him because his arms manipulated. You could pose him, and we would hang him up as our special Halloween decoration. And over here we have the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror action figures. Of course, we have Ned Flanders as the devil when Homer traded his soul for a donut. We have the Count Burns. He's a vampire when the family visited him at his home in Pennsylvania. And of course, Bart, in a parody of The Fly, got turned into a fly-headed monstrosity. I love these vintage Halloween masks. Look at all these different versions of the devil. And then look at this back room in here. They actually have a seance room, giant seance room. Wow. I think I'd mentioned the first time I came to the Mystic Museum, they had a exhibit on Ouija boards, also known as talking boards. It's the more generic name for them. But they do have a collection of different talking boards back here. You see a bunch of different talking boards up there on top over that gazelle head. Oh, U, V, U. Uvu? S? Uvus. Maybe the ghost is named Uvus. Some Egyptian objects in here. Like an Egyptian case. You can see those jars. Those are the jars where they put mummies' organs in before they actually prepare the mummy and wrap it up. They'll remove the organs, place them in these jars so that they can take them with them to the afterlife. Except for the brain. They actually toss the brain in the garbage. So they didn't think it was that important. See the peacock up there. Oh, what's in that? What's in that bell jar? There's a hand with a dagger through it. That's really fascinating. This is the voodoo case. In here you can see that skull there, covered in dirt. Little alligator head as well. Down there some more alligator heads and some voodoo dolls. There's like the traditional soft voodoo doll with the pins in it. Stick the needles in it to affect parts of the human body. And then what do they call this with the nails in it? I think that's like, I've heard referred to as a hate god, where each nail is a grievance pounded into the doll. The piano over here. And then, oh, there's a fortune teller right there. I just saw the, oh yeah, the orb is glowing there for the front of the skeletal fortune teller. There's a statue of Baphomet, kind of a occult figure. I know symbols used by both the Church of Satan and the Temple of Satan. It actually was a big legal battle. They wanted to erect a statue of Baphomet in front of the Oklahoma Capitol building in a way to express freedom of religion. In the center here, the seance table, you have this this giant birthday cake. Something ominous about that birthday cake. Is that, I'm trying to think if that birthday cake is like from a movie or something. I'm not sure, but it's scary looking birthday cake. And then oh, here's some devil horns that you can put on while you're doing an occult ritual here. Oh, there's a little Necronomicon there. You can see the eyes made out of human skin. Oh, nothing's written in this particular Necronomicon. Better consult the 8-ball. Does Jen love me? What's that say? It's hard to see. It says, oh, it says yes, definitely. I had to look a little closer. The water inside is very thick, but it does say yes, definitely. There we go. Yes, definitely. Jen loves me. Aw. Aw, Jen.
Zoltar speaks.
Oh, yeah. I got this very old Zoltar machine here. Let's give it a try. Alright, so to be distinct, this is actually a Zoltar with a U, not a Zoltar with an O. So let's see how this works. You got to turn the dial here. If you, okay, men, women, and couples. I am a single person. I am a male, so I'm going to put it to men. Then we're going to drop our quarter in there and see what happens. Oh, what's going on?
Put your hand on my hand.
Put my hand on his hand. Okay, there you go. Put it on the hand. Oh, what's happening? Wait, what?
Zoltar speaks.
Zoltar speaks. Oh, what's he say? Have respect for each other. Oh, that's nice. I agree, Zoltar. Everyone should have respect for one another. This bell just rang by itself. Alright, let's see if this bell will ring again. I saw it ring by itself. Is it gonna ring? Is it gonna ring? Is it gonna ring? Maybe it's gonna ring now? Okay.
Zoltar speaks.
I swear it was ringing by itself. Gonna ring though? Oh, there it goes. You saw that. You saw that. It rang. In this cabinet here, we have some other occult items. They have, you know, some cards, some fortune-telling cards there. There's some teacups for, I guess, reading tea leaves. And then down here we have planchettes. It's the piece of the talking board or Ouija board that you put your hand on and it moves around. It's kind of the classic shape right there, but they also have some that are shaped just like a hand or a finger to point out to the letter that the spirit wants to show you. Over in the corner here we have a very spooky witch. Oh, look at her. She's very, very spooky. There's the Holy Spirit board here. I've not seen this one before, but apparently you can communicate directly with Jesus Christ. I'm not sure that that's how things work. I guess this is an occult toolkit. You've got the divining rods. Usually ghost hunters will use those to try to speak to ghosts. If they cross each other, then that means a ghost is responding to you. Some devilish items here. The little devil heads. And then, oh, look at that picture back there. All those men are all dressed like the devil. That's pretty spooky. Variety of little devilish items there, all the different things that have the devil's face on it. Little cutesy devil toys, devil branded products. You can see that 666 cold medicine. That was actually on the market for quite some time. I don't think it actually had any connection to Satan himself, but I remember even in the early 2000s being able to find that on a pharmacy counter. Yeah, they just don't use Satan in advertising as much as they used to. I do love the Fiji mermaid up here. That is a beautiful specimen. Back behind this couch here, I have this little stuffed lamb in a glass box. Something ominous about that. Why is the lamb in the box there? Then we have this like dressing shade covering up some of the exhibit there. See, the albino deer taxidermy is pretty cool, but what is on the other side there? Let's take a peek. And there, yep, there's a mummy. There's a mummy in there. Little peek behind the shade there. See that super spooky mummy. Now the gentleman inside there did tell me that Slashback Video will be back in some form. He said probably later this year. The Lost Toys exhibit will be closing down, and then some form of Slashback Video will be back in its place. So I will have a chance, maybe when I come out here for Halloween, I'll get a chance to see it. But before we left Burbank, there's one more thing I wanted to see.
My instinct, close my eyes.
Because here in the city of Burbank, California, they erected a statue of Batman. You can see all of his rippling muscles there, his utility belt, a statue of a true hero here in Burbank, California. And I think some people might find it strange or unusual.
Yeah, and
And I feel that some people might find it strange or unusual that they would erect a statue of a fictional character. But you know what? I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. We, you know, as a people, we tend to want to erect statues of our heroes. We tend to erect statues of politicians, presidents, military heroes. But you know, we've had some problems. We've had some problems in that department. A lot of times we will we'll erect a statue of someone, and you'll say 100 years later, maybe that person's values don't match our modern values, or we learn more about that person and decide that maybe that person wasn't as great as we once thought. they were. There's been a lot of statues in the past few years that have been taken down, have been deemed offensive. The person in the statue deemed no longer a person that should be looked up to, does not fit our modern values, and they take that statue down. In this case, we never have to worry about that because Batman, he's not gonna say a racial slur. He's not going to abuse a child. You know, we can be safe to know that Batman only does what the writers write him to do. And you know what? If it turns out he does do something that's offensive, they can just rewrite it. They can just change it. They can just retcon Batman so he didn't do that bad thing. You know, you might go back through the decades of comics and find something to cancel Batman over, but you know, you just say, well, that's non-canon. He didn't do that anymore. We're changing the canon, and so Batman, we never have to worry about someday people petitioning to take down the statue of Batman. Batman is no longer worthy of our adoration because Batman's been adored since his inception, since he was originally created in the comic books. Through every movie iteration, every generation has their own Batman. You know, in the 60s, we had Adam West, one of the best Batman. In the 80s, we had Michael Keaton. George Clooney, not as popular, but still, you know, a beloved figure. You can't ever ruin Batman because there will always be a new Batman, and he will always invoke certain values worth supporting. I know some people may say, you know, he is a rich guy that goes around beating up poor people, but you know, I feel that in his heart that Batman does have the justice, does have you know, helping people in his heart. So I think I'm 100% behind having a statue of Mr. Batman here. And this is not the only city that is possibly going to that's going to have a fictional character in statue form, because there's been a 12-year process in Detroit. They have built a RoboCop statue, and it is built, it is ready to go, but they've had problems finding an agreement, finding somewhere to place the statue, a property that is willing to keep and maintain the statue. But there's word that maybe this year, in 2023, they may finally be putting up the RoboCop statue, and I think I'm happy and proud of Detroit that they're finally going to get that RoboCop statue up, and I'm proud of Burbank for honoring Batman and all his justice, all his crime fighting that he has done over the years. So thank you, Burbank, and thank you for watching. I appreciate all you guys watching these videos. If you like these videos, please subscribe. Definitely loved checking out the Lost Toys exhibit at the Mystic Museum. Just a very, very deep, nostalgic journey. I travel around the country. I visit other attractions. I visit roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun stuff. If you would like to support the channel, consider donating to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. There'll be some enamel pins coming back soon. Look for that. But until next time, this one's in the bag.